Welcome back, viewers at home. Now, this is the third part of our conversations that we've been having on all things NucleoCell Nutrition. I mean, we started off by understanding its unique mission and the role of nucleotides in health and nutrition, followed by another conversation in understanding, the importance of gut health, its connections to overall wellness, particularly to immune health. And tonight, sadly, we are, I feel like, as I said earlier on, it's a see you later, but it's never a goodbye here at home, But tonight we're going to be taking a conversation around the founding story, entrepreneurial journey, and the brand identity of NucleoCell, and many, many things to look forward to. But that conversation, as you should know by now, is between myself and Rentia, Tukker, and Rochell Petersen from the NucleoCell Nutrition, South Africa's revolutionary supplement brand, working to change the wellness narrative by addressing the root of health at a cellular level. Hearing it for the first time here on Prime Lab. But ladies, good evening, and thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Good evening, Maimuna. Thank you for having us. Hello,
So
Maimuna.
it's always a pleasure having you guys here, and just the energy and the conversation is always flowing, it's always informative, and something that we are always here for. But just to start off our conversation tonight, I'm going to direct my question to you, Rentia, in terms of, can you share why NucleoCell was founded in South Africa and particularly by whom?
So with research done in the genetic field, 2014, 2015, I came across the raw material. And after seeing the first results that came through, I knew I had to find Dr. Peter Kuppel, who's the immunologist in Switzerland, who spent years developing our unique blend of balanced nucleotides. And from there, it was just not straightforward process, but he was excited to know that we would like to also bring the product into South Africa, and that's where the business then started in 2015.
What challenges did you have to overcome being, ladies and, entrepreneurs at that?
So I think with being women, female entrepreneurs, it's always difficult with having children, and difficult in the sense that there's less time, more of a rush, more people that need to be considered. We both have children, and we come from families where everybody's employed. And I was just reading a thing earlier today that said entrepreneurs exchange their own money for freedom, whereas ordinary people that are employees exchange their freedom for money. So it was a massive gamble for me, out of a family of employed people and the security, to leave that behind and start a new venture. So I'm not a serial entrepreneur. I have one business that I've been running for now the last 10 years. Rochelle has multiple companies in different countries, so she's a serial entrepreneur.
Wow, amazing. And Rochelle, can you share with me in terms of how this partnership formed, and more so, how did it also grow?
All right, I actually encountered Rentia 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing her speak about NucleoCell and just the passion that she exuded, that was infectious for me. But also what was interesting for me was the fact that nobody knows about nucleotides. And when I found out about the benefits to your body, to your mind, to your gut, I was like, no man, more and more people really need to know about this. So this has been a relationship that literally has been nurtured for the past 6 years. But last year we made the decision to actually partner up, to reposition NucleoCell, and get the brand out there. And that is how we started, but it's been 6 years coming.
And with that being said, because I know usually when somebody tells you about something unheard of, you're like, this person is selling me dreams, like that's the first thing that you have in mind. But for you, you were very open to it, and you approached it with an open mind. And today here you guys are. And with that being said, what exactly really keeps you, balancing to staying true to the brand itself, and also deep focus on health while ensuring the brand remains relevant as well as accessible?
Wow. What can be more relevant than the substance that every single human being is made of, which is your DNA? That is the utmost relevance. If it wasn't for our DNA, I wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be, and none of us would actually be here. So to make the brand relevant is just to communicate what nucleotides really are and the impact that it has. Because when you look at the health market, a lot of the time what is being, maybe for the lack of a better word, punted is your macronutrients. Everybody knows about vitamin E, everybody knows about vitamin A, B, C, D, all of that. But as science advances, I always say that, you know, they say that hindsight is a perfect science. But science is actually perfect hindsight, because we humans exist. So science is actually catching up. So there was your macronutrients, then your micronutrients, and now your micronutrients, which nucleotides actually falls under. So yeah, and it's just about education, and that is one thing that we are very, very passionate about. And that is also what connected. For me to identify, I always say that you can never hide truth.
Yeah.
Truth always come out. And when you look at the science, it's just so loud and so deafening. I couldn't ignore it.
Yeah.
I just wanted everybody to know nucleus.
You're willing to tell even your neighbors.
Man, I'm telling you, everybody, even when I speak to people, they're like, you really know this? And I'm like, yeah, just go on Google. It actually says building blocks of life.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah, it's just an amazing, it's a beautiful experience. And I'm very privileged to walk this journey with Rentia. It's just, yeah, it's amazing.
And Rentia, my next question, and I think it breeds to what I was listening to earlier on when it said that, you know, our DNA sometimes we're not performative in response to our DNA because of the environments that we live in and the lifestyle that we live in terms of what we consume. And with that being said, I would like to ask for you, what is your vision for NucleoCell going forward, considering what it offers to a cellular level?
We definitely want nucleotides and NucleoCell to be a household name and a household brand. People need to know that if they start with a little bit of a cold, their go-to would be nucleotides. If there's a bit of a stomach upset, their go-to must be nucleotides. And I just want to reiterate, we fire each other up in terms of the energy and the excitement about this product. And it's so nice to be able to share with Rochell when there's a testimony that comes through 3 or 4 days later when people started using the product and they say they experience all these changes. So that is what's absolutely amazing, is to just see the change in people when they understand the value of this product, to really look at nourishment on a DNA level.
And Rochell, what is your most valued lesson in this journey?
Shoo, from a business point of view, Rentia explains that your DNA is actually a helix. It's a double-stranded helix. And that's, for me, speaks to alignment. From a business perspective, what is very important is for Rentia and I to definitely be aligned. So that is something that is really, really amazing for me. The other thing as well is just to, like Rentia said, get people to understand what nucleotides actually are. And those are the important things for me.
And Rentia, you know, one thing I feel like the mission statement for NucleoCell is very like breathtaking, because even when you read it as a person, it's like, cell, this is something that you'll think of, you know, biochemists deal with, not that a supplement can offer, or surgery has to deal with, or a doctor needs to look into, not something that is so accessible in a form of a supplement as you offer. And this brings me to understanding, like, with a very distinct and striking branding. Can you tell us about the creative process behind your branding and how it actually helps convey NucleoCell's unique approach to what we all seek, wellness?
But tongue in the cheek, our DNA helix is the biggest. and we are actually the only company that can legitimately put a DNA helix on our product. There are companies with the name Nucleo, with DNA, with helixes on the labeling and on their products. And we are so proud to say that we are the only company that literally has nucleotides in our product. So we proudly display the DNA helix.
And lastly, to Rochell, for those interested in trying, you know, NucleoCell's nucleotide supplements, where can they purchase it? And Is it distinct, or is there a certain look that you feel like they should be aware of? Because one thing, I don't know if you've noticed, there's some, phony products that are there that are actually are duping the original products in that
Yes.
sense. And it's quite scary because I think people find out later to say, actually you bought this from a site, but it's not the actual product. Is there a way for an individual to look at your product and be able to say that this is not it, or this is the actual product?
All right, I think from a consumer perspective, the best place to actually get NucleoCell products would be from our website, which is literally www.nucleocell.co.za. There's also various privately owned health organizations where people can acquire NucleoCell products, and also some functional health practitioners. But definitely on the website, you'll also be able to have a chat with our team as well if you have any questions, which we often get. And we are we are very passionate about education. We don't just want people to utilize the product without the knowledge. So please feel free, ask the questions, and we are definitely here to educate, because it's important for you to know what you are taking and why you are taking, so that you can understand why you feel that nucleo cell effect and what amazing things that miracle molecules called nucleotides actually does in your body. So definitely on the website, you can also reach out to us on all our social media handles as well. We definitely have people that will tend to you.
And some of those organizations that you speak of, are they enlisted also on the website?
No, they are not listed, but definitely I think Rentia will be able to give you a list of the organizations. Wellness Works in...
HealthWorks.
HealthWorks. Yes.
HealthWorks stocks our product.
Okay.
And then the functional practitioners, it's more accessible to their patients through those specific doctors. But the easiest would be to go onto the website, www.nucleocell.co.za, and there's a wonderful link to a free guide to nucleotides, so that people can download that and read up about nucleotides as well.
I'm loving how intentional the supplement is, and the founders of it, or rather the duo that's sitting before me, are so intentional about it, because you find that most people will talk about the product in terms of getting it out there, but not really the education behind it, as you guys emphasize, to say, you know what, we don't only want you to buy the product, we want you to read about the product so you actually understand what you're consuming. And with that being said, in closing our conversation, I would like for you guys to say anything that you believe that I might have left out that you feel is quite important for our viewers, and myself included, to know about all things NucleoCell Nutrition. And I'll start with you, Rentia.
My heartfelt, help me with the word, the emphasis is just on educating and understanding the value of having health and taking control of your health. By educating yourself and understanding the value of a product that speaks to nutrition DNA deep.
And Alicia?
Healthy cells equals to healthy organs, equals to a healthy body, equals to an amazing life. It all starts with the smallest part of your body, and that's your DNA.
And I think with that being said, you will have less stress when it comes to the idea of medical aids, because we're seeing how skyrocketing they are. And I think being proactive in this sense, it really helps with that, and it helps you feeling healthy, rather than saying, oh, I feel like my bones are crackling like Rice Krispies. But thank you so much, ladies, for joining us from time to time and having lovely conversation and insightful conversation on things that we tend to, neglect in that sense, because we don't get to see, like we see our faces, our skins, and we always sometimes downplay to say, well, it's that time of the month. Oh, well, I was too much in the sun, and not really trying to look into what could probably be the underlying cause. But thank you so much for, keeping us aware and opening our third eye in this sense. But thank you so much. It's been lovely having you.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers at home, that was the dynamic duo joining joining me this evening, sharing all things well-being and how you can be proactive. Those were my beautiful guests, Rochell and Rentia, in terms of how they are here to ensure that you don't have to be aging before time or getting sick when you don't need to be getting sick unnecessarily, especially now with the flu season and the fever season coming for us. But viewers at home, for now, let's head over to an ad break. We'll see you just after this.